Nothing about this is official.
Nothing. Hi, I'm Nick. This is the Raise the Flag podcast, also known as technicalissuespodcast.com. Um so here we are after
Nick, you really nailed that start.
nailed it. Hey, listen, that's the scrappy charm of what Raise the Flag is all about. We're
Nick
not
needs cue
official.
cards for the intro.
I have my super fancy studio / bedroom / whatever going on here, and anyway, so this is a podcast. We got a guest. His name is John, and he's from Badgercle Outfitters, and he's been on before, but this is the first time in video. So now you guys got to see him. There he is. Say hi, John.
Hi, everybody. Hopefully,
Hi, everybody.
Hopefully, no technical issues on my end.
Yeah, well, no, it's usually not your fault. It's usually my fault, or Heather's fault, or Tom's fault. Everything's
I
Tom's
take
fault.
full responsibility. I'm really good at it. It's
I'll
always
let you
my
take
fault.
responsibility.
Always
then.
my
First
fault.
one in the room, though. So
I'm also
Yeah.
good at being on time. It's this thing I have. I really like to be on time.
So I also value being on time, but there's always some dumb thing that comes up. So today my computer was like, holy shit, if you don't update your BIOS right freaking now, Mars is going to explode. So I had to do that, and that took 15 minutes. And then none of my drivers existed. So I plugged in my microphone, and all I heard was like the most hard sounding feedback through my ears that I don't think I'm going to ever recover from. But then we got everything working, so here we are. So we did
We're
it.
all here. Yeah.
We did it. Thanks for putting up with us, John. I appreciate you
nope,
dealing
absolutely.
with our nonsense. Anyway, all right. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's do the normal podcast stuff. Tom,
Okay.
what do you got going on?
Lots of stuff. Chickpeas, lots of chickpeas hitting the website this Friday. So I've got about 40 of those going up. And I'm excited about that drop. And I am starting to be an official businessman with a business calendar, trying to plan things out officially.
Can you,
I just
can
love
you
that
share,
you're so excited about
can,
that.
can
Last
you
year
share
it
us
was-
all the highly technical calendar that you have for your business
It
now?
was the running joke that my calendar was on January 1st all of last year. It never flipped a page the entire year. And this year I'm working with Swedge Media on the website and everything else. And like, oh, can you give us like some dates and times of your drops and everything so we could plan accordingly? I'm like, fuck, now somebody else is relying on this. I guess I actually have to do it. Something
So
called
it took them
accountability.
to get you to do it.
Well,
You
it
wouldn't have
just
done it
makes
on your own.
no, but it makes life so much easier where it's like, and even what I spent the whole day doing the other day was like inventory, like heavy inventory on like blades that I have, on like finished blanks, not finished blanks, scales, sheaths. So now I could like look at it on a spreadsheet and be like, okay, instead of me just flying by the seat of my pants like I tend to do anyway every single day. Because like I was telling Lauren, I'm like, why does everything always have to be on fire at all times? But at least there's certain things I can mitigate, like inventory, which I'm looking forward to. Because it's like every now and then I'll do a batch. I'm like, shit, I don't have sheaths. Crap. And then I'm calling John saying, hey, could you make like 100 appear tomorrow or something? And then John normally motherfucks me and then does it, which is great.
And then I do it anyway. I know.
See, all that counts is that it gets done, right?
Yes.
Well,
but now I'm
You
trying
take
to work on
the
that.
abuse. You take the abuse. Well, I'm proud of you for getting a calendar. And it's 2025, everyone. And while everyone else has moved to a digital calendar, Tom has officially adopted a wall calendar.
No,
So
it's
is it
not
a
even a wall
2025
calendar.
calendar, though?
It's printer paper calendar that I can
Printer
write
paper
on.
calendar.
Oh, but is it for actually 2025? Because if it's 2024, the days aren't going to line up and you're going to be
Yeah,
off.
it's
So
not gonna work.
double
It's not
check that.
No, I believe it's 2025. And
Okay.
all I care is that it doesn't even have to have the dates on it, really. It's just each week of what the hell I'm planning on doing. It's not as detailed as like some other guys, like Mike from Auxiliary Manufacturing. It's like, I'm grinding bevels these days and I'm doing kydex these days. And mine's just like, yeah, I'd like to do 50 of these this week. Figure it out. I'm like, okay. Well, at least I have that part down.
It's something. It's a step in the right direction.
I
Good
think
job.
it's great. I'm way more like you, Tom. I'm like, I hope to accomplish this week, but I might not.
Well,
So,
I'm also trying to plan for the shit shows that happen daily. Like leave some wiggle room where I'm like, all right, I could really push into these numbers, but I'm like, you're not planning for Murphy to throw in his mix that he's got. He's always got something. Like even like we had a bar meeting yesterday. I mean, a board meeting. And I was waiting for a part to show up, and it was supposed to be express next day. And so it was supposed to be here Saturday, and it decided to get here Wednesday, the morning of the bar meeting. So I was like scrapping together this thing at the last second before I had to drive down there. I'm like, why can't things just like go smoothly like ever? So I'm trying to plan for that and everything else. And even too, it like made me realize that Blade Show Texas is coming up a lot sooner than I thought.
Yeah,
By
it is.
looking at the calendar, I'm like, shit, this is
Yes.
only 2 pieces of paper away. That's a problem. So I got to get cracking on that kind of stuff, but
That's-
we're figuring things out. Eventually, I'll know how
fantastic.
to run a business.
And
You're
I
moving
hear
forward.
you sold like 100 wickets last week or something like that.
Yeah, we sold like 100 knives in like a day and a half, which is definitely pretty neat.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
It's freaking crazy.
Feels good, man.
Yeah.
While you were fishing.
While I was ice fishing all weekend, it was great. I actually turned off notifications on my phone because it kept buzzing. And I'm like, I'm just trying to sit here and fish. But yeah, it was great. Blown away by the support as always. I'm going to try to get cracking on more. And that's where some of this production stuff is helping out because now I could actually get numbers out there efficiently. And even for like one of the part I was waiting on is for a new knife that I'm planning on releasing for Blade Show. And it's like, I need to get the ball rolling on these things because if I don't get this into production like now, I just can't make the numbers that I'm going to need to make. I can make like 12 of them, but like it's like you spend so many hours behind a belt grinder that it's like you can only produce so much yourself. So it's like trying to keep the ball moving forward with all getting these different models of production so I could actually try to keep up with everything, which we'll see. One day I'll do that.
You're getting closer. You're getting closer.
Yeah,
Every step is in the right direction. So
Yeah.
Once you figure something else, something else will happen. That's the way it goes.
Well, I'm trying to do this whole like self-reflection and be happy thing every now and then.
Oh, I like that
Heather,
I'm rubbing
Heather,
off
look
on
what you did. This is on you.
Well,
it only
it's-
took a
Take
year.
responsibility for happiness.
I have a very bad problem of like having something like that happen and like grunting and smiling and then looking for the next fucking problem that's coming up. But it's like I need to actually smell the roses every now and then. And even like this week, it was actually yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of me turning in the badge and doing this full time. So
Congratulations.
I'm like, thank you.
Definitely
So it's
need to
like,
celebrate that.
Yeah.
well, I'm celebrating by working. So that's cool. But it's for me, it's like, you have to look back and be like, okay, like take a look at, back from the hike that you just did to see the view you're at now every now and then and smell the roses and, maybe be happy. That kind of stuff. I'm working on it. We'll get there.
I really
Taking a
like
page out of
it.
Heather's book.
not that happy.
What's the point if you're not enjoying the journey, right, you guys?
No,
I mean, seriously, if you're not having a good time, what's the point? I love working hard and I love playing hard. So that's the whole reason, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
And
So this
speaking of
time
playing
next
of
year-
hard, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say this time next year, Tom's name will be Tom the Happy. He'll have gnomes dancing around, and
I don't know about that. Like I said, fire is just like, Nick, you hear my bullshit all the time where it's like,
I do.
how does this even happen? Like, why does this happen this way?
I think we should do like an entire episode where we all just do role reversal.
Oh,
So
I don't
Tom
know if
will
I
be
can
Heather,
be
and I'll be
grouchy.
Tom, and
We could try. I don't know if
it'll be
it'll
fun.
work.
Anyway,
But I just wanted to share something that has nothing to do with small business, but has to do with having a good time. I just signed up to Intro to Bollywood Dancing.
What?
Yeah, we're going to go take a free class and learn how to Bollywood dance. I don't know. It sounded like fun, right? And I also signed up on how to make baskets and sample wine at the same time, right? Spreading my wings,
So
guys.
wine and baskets.
Wine and
that.
bad. I thought it sounded like fun, right?
Is
Taste
Todd
wine.
teaching the
make-
courses?
No.
I feel like he would be a seasoned Bollywood dancer already.
Can
Todd
you
does not
Bollywood
dance.
while
No,
drinking
no,
wine
no.
and making baskets?
That is not a Todd skill, let me tell you, because Todd, he's an elbower and he takes other people out on the dance floor. Todd's not skilled at dancing. I love him.
Todd's a
He's good
mosher.
at so many things, but yes, that's it. He is a mosher, not a
Yep.
dancer. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
That's
So,
okay.
no, he's not Bollywood dancing
He's
with
a
me.
full contact dancer.
Yeah, exactly. If that were a sport, Todd would just rock at it.
So now that we do this with the fancy moving picture format, you just set yourself up because the audience, the tens and tens of people who watch these videos, are
They don't wanna see
definitely
my
going
Bollywood
to
moves?
want to see you do Bollywood dancing. So
I'll share. I might
Yeah,
even
right.
post a video on Instagram.
there you go.
Wow.
While making a basket, while drinking wine,
It's
and
not
while
the same
filling a pouch
event.
with rocks.
It's two different events.
No. I want it all together. Make it happen.
You're getting bossy in this new job. I don't know if I like it, Nick.
Yes. Sorry.
And there's going to bring you down a peg or two.
Yeah, she started that role reversal. She just turned into Nuge there for a second.
Okay.
There would have been more expletives.
Yeah. Baby steps. She'll get there. Baby steps.
What do you got going on in the shop, Heather?
Oh, I am just still trying to organize. It's the beginning of the year and I bought all that wool. So I've had to reorganize a bunch of stuff upstairs to try to store it so that it's safe and smells good. And yeah, so I'm just working on that. And then we're just doing another Whatnot show this Monday. So we've been working a lot on that and we're just filling wholesale orders. So normal stuff, just working. Fun stuff.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Sweet. Love it.
What about you,
Nick,
Nick?
you got anything exciting?
No.
Okay,
No,
moving on.
No,
Hi, John.
I'm kidding. Wait, no, I actually have exciting. I actually have exciting, guys.
Okay.
So, I do like a lot of like this. This cool thing is happening, but I can't tell you about it. And I do have plenty of that, but I'm not going to do that to you this week. So in February, in the first week of February, there's going to be a new issue of Recoil Off Grid coming out, and I have an article in there.
Ooh.
And I'm really excited about that because while I have done a ton of writing over the last couple of years, I have not been in print before. So this is my first article. It is being published in print, and I'm really excited about that. So, so that's coming. First week of February is going to be a really great issue, and you guys should check it out. But if you want to read the article, you can actually go on the website right now and read it because it's up there in the issue 66 section. So go click on it, read it.
Got it.
And that's it.
What if we can't read?
Well,
pictures.
Is there pictures?
There's some pictures. There's some pictures, but typically when it comes to a publication, people expect to read words and look at pictures.
Don't throw
Anyway,
up
moving on.
roadblocks. Jeez, oh my gosh. And speaking of print, Ruben sent me a picture and he put our mushroom he didn't, but he did put our mushroom foraging pouch unexpectedly into an issue. So that was really exciting.
That's super cool.
I thought so.
And Backwoods Survival Guide.
Yeah.
I see yesterday at the bar.
You saw it?
Yeah, you had it there. That's where he took the picture.
I didn't know that. It doesn't. Ruben does not communicate a lot. Message just had pictures, and I said,
I'm with the in crowd on things.
Oh,
I know things, and I
okay.
know people. It's not a big deal or anything.
I'm the one that needs to be
Don't
knocked
drop
out.
any names or anything.
I'm with
I know
the in
industry
crowd.
people. It's not a big deal or anything.
People.
Kind of popular.
Oh,
No, everybody just deals with me.
that feels
we
more
tolerate
legit.
comments. That's the way it goes.
So you're gonna, Nick. First of all, I got two questions.
Yeah,
Are you
I
gonna
gotta-
frame the first article? That's the first question.
gonna ask, yeah.
I was really thinking about it.
You should.
You should.
You should,
I
absolutely.
was thinking about it. I think that's the thing.
Two, when the hell are you shaving that caterpillar under your nose?
Never. It's not gonna happen.
We did a whole thing
I know.
about you trimming this bush, and it is
No.
thick.
It's winter and it's cold, and I don't
Okay.
really care if I look presentable. Don't like my face.
I'm
don't
just
look at my
saying,
face.
you did this whole thing about how you had to
know.
get rid of it, and
And you're gonna spend the entire
we're just
podcast
trying to
looking
keep
at
each
me
other
trying to
accountable here.
Coffee off my this thing.
Okay, as long as it doesn't start growling on the podcast.
It might. You never know.
All right.
All right. Anyway, I think that's all I got. Oh, I got one other thing. Also about and then we'll talk to John. I promise. About Off Grid is that we're doing did a couple changes on the website. There's a bar up top called Prepping 101. It's a really cool article that Patrick mostly wrote, and I helped him out a little bit on. But we're gonna be adding a bunch of stuff to it, kind of give people an introduction to what it takes to get prepared. So if you don't know, if you're interested, you want to get started, but
Excellent.
you don't know where. It's a great resource. We got a ton of links to other resources in there, and it's just going to keep growing over time. So it's going to be really cool.
Resources with resources.
Resources with resources.
Wow.
But actually, it does a really good job of like giving the basics in a pretty concise fashion, and then gives people the opportunity to go learn more about those topics should they want to.
Nice.
They need to. I mean, I think they need to, but that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, there's
Anyway.
probably a lot of people in California that are have just recently learned that lesson, unfortunately. So
I find it really funny that when you have official messages coming out from the U.S. government saying that you need to have a go bag and you need to have a bug out bag, I'm like, all right, well,
right?
if the government's saying it,
Well,
Yeah.
maybe they should
Now all of a
stop
sudden people take it seriously.
censoring programs and people and labeling them as terrorist groups when they're teaching self-preparation
prepare
and
for these things.
readiness, and not labeling them as domestic terrorist groups. Maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah, hard
Well,
eye
you know.
roll. Anyway,
You guys
Anyway,
went dark.
enough
Let's
of that.
talk to
Sorry.
John. Focus.
Hi,
Come
John.
on, bring it back around. You were spreading joy, guys. Spreading joy.
You went to my dark side, which is
I know-
like 90% of my
I know.
life.
I know John's not going to have an issue talking shit about the government.
Oh no, I know they're listening.
Anyway.
That's okay.
They are listening. We all have our, maybe not Heather, but the rest of us definitely have personal FBI agents that listen to our bullshit.
I have an FBI file, guys, so don't even think that I'm.
Well, that's from your biker days. Right now,
Yeah,
they're
when you
bothering
were
me.
Oh, yeah.
That was when
And
you
we're
were the
focusing-
happy thought.
John, we're talking to John.
See how she's trying to get the heat off her right now.
Yeah. We started talking about the biker days, and all of a sudden, FBI guys got to dust all our files again.
You guys are just
Anyway.
making up shit.
Well, if we're
All
on,
right.
if we're on TikTok, don't we have our own personal Chinese spy? I saw a video the other day with the
Maybe.
Chinese spy on TikTok that was saying goodbye to everyone because they're getting rid of TikTok. Or did you? I don't know if you guys saw the video. It's absolutely hilarious.
That's
So,
hilarious.
Yeah, look it up. It's funny.
That is good.
What?
That is good.
Google TikTok spy?
Yeah,
Okay.
Find it.
that would probably bring it up. But yeah, it's this guy, and he's on there. And he's like, he's this little Chinese guy. He's like, "Hello, everyone. I am so and so. I am your TikTok spy." And he goes through all this stuff, like, Mary, I just wanted to tell you, stop sending topless pictures to Tom or whoever the guy was. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. It's funny. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, now that we got past most of the nonsense, and there'll be more, I promise.
There are definitely more.
John,
Yeah.
what's going on in the world of John? I know you've been on here before, but just in case this is a first-time listener, why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about what you are doing in your life?
yeah, so Badger Claw Outfitters is our company, and we manufacture leather goods and other outdoor gear, soft goods, nylon, cordura, wax canvas, stuff like that. And this is our, 2000, I got to do some math here, 14th year, I guess, in business now. And we are based out of South Central Texas, and all of our manufacturing is done here in Texas, which is nice. And so we service both retail end and wholesale end for clients, just like lovely Nuge here, who keeps us busy, usually at the last minute. And so
I still throw money at you, though.
You do, and you have I think you have the record of being the fastest to pay when an invoice gets sent out.
That's a good record to have. That's
Yeah,
right. You're like,
is,
he
it
wants
is.
more, he pays. We're making his.
Yeah,
I may
know.
be a pain in the ass, but I know to get the money to them. So at
Yeah,
least
he
it's not
does.
like I'm a pain in the ass who doesn't pay.
Yeah, I know. But that's like that's a whole other topic we can talk about is collections. But so anyway, yeah, so that's what we do. This is going to be an exciting year coming up. Stuff we were talking about earlier. We've got a lot of new products and new materials that we're working with, and we're expanded our production capabilities, and both on the leather end and on the other side as well. And maybe expanding the shop, which this is the leather shop here where I'm at right now. Because I knew that when we built this place, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to regret not adding on, and here I am a few years later going, yep, could really use another couple hundred square feet. And so I had this great idea. I'm like, we're going to blast out this wall over here. We can put a door. We'll just move like office stuff or maybe storage in there. And then my wife, the smart one of the group here, and she's like, well, we have a kind of an outdoor patio on this side of the shop that's covered. It's a metal building, and she's like, why don't you just wall that in? It's already got foundation, then you don't have to pour concrete. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Big brain ideas.
Big brain. I know. I thought and I'm like, oh, and then I walk out here. I'm like, damn it, she's right. I'm like, thank God. And so I'm going to get somebody out and start frame in. Yeah. And so I'm going to get somebody out here and look at maybe framing in. I think it would be about 150 square feet maybe, but it would be enough to move inventory, get that out of the shop floor. And it would give me a whole nother, 20 foot wall for benches and more equipment and stuff like that. So that's going to be kind of cool. It won't be anything that gets done soon, but at least I won't have to be pouring concrete and doing all that kind of stuff. So, because with these metal buildings, they can literally, it's like putting Legos together, I think. So, and I don't even know if I'd have to insulate it because it would just be storage. I probably would want to, but
for how hot it gets there,
yeah, it's
going to be wonky.
Yeah, and because you can, I don't know, you can see, but we do the spray foam insulation. But small add-on like that, I could probably just go the other route with that kind of fiber board or whatever that shiny stuff is. So anyway, that's going to be something that's kind of cool. And that just was like a light bulb that went on here this last week. And I was thinking about all this construction we could do. And she's like, you already got a foundation, moron, put it over there. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
the takeaway from this is really funny because, as people who are, as a collectively survival-minded people, right? We think that we would always just gravitate towards the path of least resistance, right? But we don't. We're like, oh, we can do this, and we can pour concrete, we can do and make everything hard. And just like you, my wife's like, why are we going to make this difficult? Let me show you how to do it really easy. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
That's why teams are good, you guys. Partnerships,
yes, outside
teams.
Perspective is
Absolutely.
So lesson learned. The only reason why this podcast even still exists is because Heather is here to keep us stupid men in check.
Yes, because we were about to get real dark and angry for a bit.
Oh, you guys were turned in the corner there, but I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about your growth, John. How long have you been working on the idea of the new product line that you guys are bringing out? Has that been like over the last year, or it's fairly new? Or
it's been just kind of as like with anything, you get when it comes to manufacturing, when you get like new equipment or you get some new resource, all of a sudden another door opens up. And so now with what we've expanded on the sewing end of it, that I'm like, oh, now we can do all kinds of new cool stuff. And so we're going to start working with some different materials. And it's like I've been stumbling on like stupid luck stuff, just like the phone call I had earlier today that Heather I was telling you about, just like dumb luck stuff that I stumble on. It's like I got to take advantage of that. And so we're going to start working with like some material. It's like it's a rubberized material, but it's also got a ripstop characteristic to it that people make a lot of bags and soft-sided coolers and stuff like that on. So we've got two really cool products that we're going to be using that in conjunction with like corduras and kind of molding those fabrics together and put them together for some really good application stuff with still staying in our lane. I don't want to get, Heather, you probably get people messaging all the time. Hey, can you make this? And it's like, I could, but it's not really my focus, and that's going to take me outside of, I like to think outside the box, but I don't want to go too far outside the box.
I actually find that kind of hard. I love new ideas, and I like working with new materials, but I also do kind of want to stay with the vibe we have. So I might do like a one-off as a challenge to myself, but it is something I do. Like this year we want to go bigger. We're going to make bigger projects this year because I got a new sewing machine that'll do bigger stuff. So I totally get what you're saying. New supplies and new equipment are very exciting. But I also don't want to go like a lot of people ask me why we don't work with molly straps. And I was like, well, I don't like to use a lot of plastic, and molly straps aren't my thing. Like other people do molly straps really well. Why would I want to compete with that? That's not where I'm good at. So I could learn it, but I don't want to. That's really what it comes down to. I don't want to try to compete with it. So, I get why people want it, but it's always hard for me. I want to expand, but I don't want to go too far out of my lane. So
I want to do what we do as best as I can before, we start getting and making sure that, we're servicing. I mean, just like the product that we are launched for on the website to order this week, and we're in production right now about next week, this little EDC pouch. I was like an internal battle with me to put Velcro, to put a loop pat on the front, because I'm just like, I don't know why. I just had this thing in my head. I'm just like, it's just not. And then I did it, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool. Like I see, I was like,
I feel the same way about Velcro.
I'm like the damn EDC crowd, they got me again.
But they like their patches. They like their tchotchkes. They need at least
patches.
15 pieces of flair.
One thing we've got PVC patches right now. In fact, I just got my proof today. A ton of them that we're going to have to give away and use at like Blade Show Texas and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'm going to make them the same size as this stupid Velcro that's on here, so they'll fit on this patch. And so then I'm digging around going, well, I want to mark it and show, and I don't have any patches. And luckily I found, you was talking about Mike from Auxiliary Manufacturing, got one of his little patches he sent. I was like, throwing that on there. There you go. You're on the Velcro with my Texas flag, of course. And so,
which takes up the entire pouch naturally because Texas.
I know. That's what But so now I'm like, great, I'm going to become a patch guy. Fantastic.
Oh,
So
it happens so easily. I actually ordered a new gnome patch this morning. That's why I'm giggling at you.
yeah,
Because
I
our
know.
customers love the gnomes. I don't know. Not really our thing, but it is. So
But I know that's the thing is sometimes with products and stuff like that, your customers make it your thing, and you're like, it's not my. And I'm like, well, okay, it's not my vibe, but if I got
they're
a lot
buying
of
it.
they're buying it,
Yeah.
and I got bills to pay and mouths to feed. So as long as I'm comfortable, I'm never going to have us manufacture something that I don't feel is done, the best it can be done. Even if I don't like it or use it, we have plenty of products that I'm like, well, I would never use this, but other people use it, and if I can make it to where other people are happy with it, then absolutely we'll go full steam ahead. But I'm not going to make something that's half-assed just because it fits somebody else's vibe or whatever. So great. Now I'm doing Velcro, and then I'm like, well, now I got to source made in the USA loop and hook and loop, and again stumbled on someplace, and
careful when you say Velcro. If it's not their brand, they will send you a
Hook and
cease
loop.
and
I
desist.
know. Me too.
And it's not. But then that's the other thing. It's like, well, it's hook and loop, but we only use one side of it. So luckily, I found a place where I can just buy gigantic
just loop?
50-yard rolls of just the loop side instead of having.
Doesn't sound as good as Velcro.
What's that?
Calling it loop doesn't sound as good as Velcro.
I know it doesn't. Velcro's
But it sounds better than a cease and desist. So
yeah, well, Velcro, I don't think is listening to this podcast right now.
you never know.
Yeah.
We're very
Mr.
important.
Velcro shows up at my door saying, "I heard you son of a bitch."
Yep, it's coming for you. So you know what? So the patches. Let's talk about patches for a second because I think this is funny. So we talk about patch people. I am patch people. I have probably no less than 300 patches. I have patch boards that big giant boards. I don't have one in front of me that have all the patches, right? So when I buy gear, I always get excited when I can get a piece of gear that I can put my patches on. Get it? I put my patches on. Before I leave the house, the patches come off and they never go back on.
Why? You don't want to get your patches dirty?
No,
Are you embarrassed if you have patch shame? Are you embarrassed?
No.
Are you a closet patcher?
No, I'm out here.
This is an open environment, Nick. You can talk about your patch problems.
Zone. We're all safe here.
The first step is
don't worry. It's just us and everybody listening.
Yeah.
To judge
no,
you.
I don't know because I just kind of feel like I don't like to advertise. Like what I got. I don't like to advertise it. Like, oh, this is clearly a survival guy's pack. It's just So if I go to an event and shit, like I'll do the patches. But currently, the only patch that I actually leave the house with is my off-grid patch because I work there. That's it.
So you don't like change them out as accessories? Like I change my earrings, you're like I got to change my patches?
Yeah.
No.
Or Nuge changes out his little things on his Crocs.
Yeah.
Do you have little Croc tchotchkes, Nuge?
I don't wear Crocs. I refuse to wear Crocs.
I wear Crocs, but I don't have tchotchkes.
It's just the fact that...
Do you have little gnomes that go on your Crocs?
I don't. They're just plain old Crocs. No. Yeah.
The fact that the movie Idiocracy put Crocs in their movie back in the day because they thought these things were so stupid that there's no way people would ever wear these things. And then now in the future, everybody's wearing them. It kind of is annoying.
I was you, Tom, a year and a half ago. And then I started wearing them.
You wear them and they're like so
comfortable. That's what happens when you do drugs, Heather. You get hooked. And nobody ever said doing drugs is a good idea. Neither are wearing Crocs.
If I could find a way to put patches on my Crocs, and yes, Crocs with socks all the way, patches on my Crocs, that would be good. No, but anyway, the only other place that patches do live is like I have some pouches that have patches, patch loop or whatever. Loop, not Velcro. And they'll be inside my bag, so the patches are sometimes on there. Like I know there is there's quite a few P&W Bushcraft patches on one of my pouches, and because she released them and I was so excited about them that I ordered them right away, and they get here and I pull them out of the package and then I put them down, and I walked into the other room and I came back and they were fucking gone, gone. So I was like out of my freaking mind. I'm digging through the garbage can. I thought maybe I threw them out by accident, and they're this big, right? So I'm like, oh my god, I threw them in the garbage. So now I got gloves on. I put rubber gloves on. I literally took every single thing out of the garbage. I can't find the thing. I can't find them. I can't find them. And
he likes his patches.
fuck. Well, it's Heather's patches too, so I feel like really bad if I.
But I'm sure you could also just reach back out to Heather.
Eventually, he did.
So eventually I did, and I placed another order, and this time she sent me 3, just in case 2 of them vanished.
Well, on that wool wife beater that she makes, she could put a little patch of loop, and you could keep them on your little wool wife beater.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the wool wife beater
with your little hanky to wipe off your
little patch loop on there.
facial thing.
So I think it was maybe a day or 2 after I got the new patches in the mail that I found one of the original patches, and it was my cat fucking absconded with it.
Your cat's a dick.
It crinkles, right? It was in the crinkle wrapper. Cats love crinkle.
The cat ran off with it, and we found one. We were like, I was like, all right, cool, I found one. And I sent Heather a message, and we were like, haha, funny. And then I think it was, what was it, last week?
Yep.
So this is going now months later. I found the second one in like a hidden treasure trove of things my cat has stolen.
The cat's like a crow.
Cat's a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a dick. So, anyway, that's my story about patches, and enough about that.
Now that everyone knows Nick collects them, they can just send him patches, huh, Nick?
Please don't. Yes.
It's illegal. You say no. John, what else you got coming up? Can you talk about any of the new products you got in the works?
Yeah. So we redesigned our smaller duffel bag, and we're going to use that new material on the bottom. So you're going to have kind of a small, like carry-on size duffel, but the bottom, probably third all the way around, is going to be the ripstop, the rubberized ripstop stuff, and so that way you're setting your bag down somewhere, in bed of your truck or trunk, wherever, in dirt, mud, water, you're outside, you throw it down, that bottom is going to be protected with that heavy
pretty durable
stuff. Yeah, it's actually really durable, and it's a material. In fact, I have a spec sheet over there. I can't remember what the whole technical name for it is, but it's a material that they make like boat covers and stuff out of, and that's where I originally found it. And then, dumb luck, I stumble on this company that sells it by the yard, and I was like, "Yeah, where's this manufactured?" And I'm like, "Oh, here." She's like, "Well, this is our stuff," and I was like, "Wait, you're the manufacturer of it?" And I'm like. And she's like, "Well, yeah," and like I was an idiot, for even questioning. So that's kind of cool. So we're trying to see where we can implement that fabric more with, and it's got like I had to go through all the specs on it because it has like a rating, like it lasts like 10,000 hours in direct sunlight over a certain temperature, like a UV rating. It has all these different. So I wanted to make sure that it met certain. Because that'd be the worst thing. You build this cool product and somebody's like, "Hey, it looks like shit" a year later because of, but it's meant to be an outdoor fabric. So, because I've never really worked in any like full synthetic. I mean, Cordura obviously is synthetic and nylons, but this is a completely different type of material. So,
that stuff is good for is with the bigger duffel bags, at least in the fishing realm. You make the bottom layer out of that in a separate compartment, and then you could have the top layer with the rest of your gear. So wet, dirty stuff can go and live in there, and it doesn't ruin the rest of all your crap that you got with it.
With our full-size duffel is we're going to do that exact same thing. The bottom is going to unzip all the way around, and you're going to be able to open it up and put your boots in there, put whatever that kind of stuff in there, and you'll have that heavier duty stuff on there. So we're gonna start with the small one, and then move along to the big one, because we started doing our larger duffels with a 70 denier liner already, and so that makes it nice because you can just flip the thing inside out and wash it out, and and it really makes the duffel bag kind of heavy duty, beyond being 1,000 denier Cordura or even our wax canvas ones are lined as well. So those are 2 new revamps, but we're getting through the new EDC pouch, which we just came out with, which was cool, with this Velcro on there, and so this is going to be a great size piece. And Nick, I know I'm going to get one to you. We're just starting on this, and I'll make sure yours has maybe extra Velcro on it.
Oh, it's going to be all Velcro.
All the patches that I won't actually put on it.
It's just all Velcro.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Do you have one of those walls, Nick, where you put it like the whole wall is like the loop side? I've seen people do that, like big, huge.
I have. It's not a whole wall, but I have 3. I want to say they're like 3 foot by 2 foot panels.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
we have 1 panel so far. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just make the whole thing out of loop, and you can just throw it across the room, and it'll just stick right to
It's gonna be his whole house.
your little happy wall.
We can like make a sport out of this, like patch sports.
Patch sports,
Yeah, patch sports. Let's do it. Come on.
like
Make money.
cornhole, but with patches.
Yes, yeah.
Cornhole.
got it.
Hey, they have cornhole in there's like a professional cornhole league. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
I
like
was
ESPN Ocho, and it's fucking great.
Oh, it's to watch it. These guys get so excited. I mean, we've got a great cornhole set. We play here all the time, but these guys are into it. I mean, it's
not even just the players; it's the announcers are fucking great. The announcers for these things, they just make up words like, "Oh, he just airmailed that one," and I'm like, "Who even comes up with this?" Like, "Oh, there's a zinger on that guy," and I'm like, the announcers get so into it, and then the players like. They're like secretly drinking beer while not secretly drinking beer. Like we all know it's a Budweiser in the koozie that they have, but like they have to cover it up because they're on TV. And I'm like, oh, look at these professional athletes drinking beer while playing their sport. I love it.
I heard one of this guy. I mean, he was like you said, he had a gut coming out to here. He should have been just sitting on a bar stool somewhere, and he makes this toss, and it's a double ringer, blah blah blah. What an athlete! The announcer said, and I was like. Who the fuck's he talking about? Because
that's an American athlete right there.
That's not an athlete. And so, I don't know. I just was dying.
It's the American dream.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke. And we were on the first time I saw it. Neil Malone and I from Malone Knives. We were on our way back from Georgia Bushcraft last year. We stopped at somewhere to grab a hotel or whatever, and there was a little sports bar restaurant, and we're sitting there. I go, "Do you see this?" He's like. What the hell is that? And we just literally, our food got cold because I was just staring at this wall watching these people throw, and they're in costume and uniforms and everything, and I was like, get out of here. So it's a thing. And now every time I see it on, I can't help but watch it. So they got me.
I love it. I did this. Yeah, I did the same thing when I saw it. I was like, Todd, is this really a sport? Like, are you seeing this? Cornhole's an organized sport, and they're saying cornhole with a straight face. So
yeah,
I thought it was all very entertaining.
I would have to be very careful if I were to commentate that sport because there'd be so many innuendo. I would just go real dark with that real quick. So
right.
Kudos to them for being able to pull that off.
It would be worth it though. I mean, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So we're doing the duffel bag thing, and then with changing those up. Of course, we're expanding on the leather end. Trying to service more knife makers and more designs and more patterns rather to help them out, because finally knife makers are figuring out that they're better at making knives than they are at making sheaths. And so
you picked up a lot of new makers recently.
Yeah, we did. In fact, I was like, my goal for this year, I was like, all right, let's add 6 more, to production at different various sizes, because we got guys that might only need like, hey, I just need 10. Can I do that? Yeah, absolutely. And then we have guys like, I need 400. And then we have guys like you, I need 100 tomorrow. I'm like, fuck. So
you said you with a look on your face. I am definitely extra special.
Yeah, when you text, it's always funny because even my wife Sarah's now is like, oh, what happened to Nuge now? Like when you text, because it's always like, look at the fucking plunge lines on these came back bad, and I'm just like, oh my god. And she's like, oh, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah. And so even God, Sarah now is sympathy for you. We picked up like 3 just in the last few weeks of guys that are wanting to come on board, and the thing is, what's kind of neat is that we never really know. Even by looking at someone's following and someone, I do my research when somebody approaches us and kind of see what, how they deal and who they deal with and what they make. And sometimes it's like, yeah, okay, this would be a good contractor, a good guy to work with. And you can't judge a book by its cover. Because all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, their first order. They're like, yeah, I need 40 of this, 50 of this, 60 of this, 20. Is that enough? And I'm like, yeah, that's great, And so you never can tell. So we picked up some really good guys. Turkey Run Knives, we're working with them now. He's got his first batch in, and he's coming back. Another guy named Phil Seeley from Barn and Brook Supply Company. I don't know if you follow.
That feather thing was fucking cool.
Dude, Phil is such a cool guy, and he's just the nicest dude. He's so laid back, and he's so quietly passionate about his work. And So love working with Phil. Yeah, his little feather thing that he came out with, we did a little slip for that, and all of his stuff, his folders. I got to get my hands on one of his folders, and because he's doing some sweet stuff there. So we're doing more work with him. John from Heavy Set Knife Company, he's all excited. He's got some new stuff coming out, so we're working with him now as well. And then Alan from Primitive Bear, I guess is what it used to be, something else, doesn't it? But didn't
He
he
used
change
to be Papa Bear, but then they got into the bear argument on the internet, and now he's Primitive Bear.
Yeah, Alan's a character.
Yeah, he's good people.
Good guy, and he makes a really, really, really nice knife as well. And then I've got two other kind of bigger, manufacturers that we're working on right now. So we'll see. Jury's out on those two, but we got to make sure that, again, I try to scale at a rate that doesn't leave everybody, in the, like, we're at the point now where, like, we're going to be sending out regular emails like, okay, we have production time this week, and this week. If you need anything, especially with like Knife Blade Show coming up. That's why, Tom, I messaged you the other day. I'm like, are you good with what we've got coming? I still got 100 or so to ship to you.
As long as I can get my sheath tomorrow.
I know, because I know.
As many clients as you want.
Yeah, because March is going to be, you realize it's not in March. It is like the 1st of March. Like March.
I mean, you could take as much time as you need as long as it's done in a day.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. We'll get on that. So I'm trying to let everybody know and give production dates that work for us, and then leave enough time for Murphy to step in there. And so
that son of a bitch.
Yeah, he does. So and so that's coming along really good on that end. And then God, what else do we got going? Really,
just the sheets just work out so well, and I think other makers are now starting to realize that. Where it's like makers and users are starting to realize that. Where it's like even like the chickpea sheath that we're doing, where it's set up out of the box for a scout carry, so you can horizontal carry that. But then also you could put a pocket clip on there and mount it any which way. You could mount it to a pack, you could mount it to a rig, you could carry it in the waistband, and it's just they just work out so much better. And for makers, for Kydex is super finicky to work with. And I've even tried doing without CNC machines. I figured out with certain sheets how to do it as quickly as possible, but it would still take me a whole day of labor to do like 30 to 40 sheets. And that's like if everything's rocking and rolling and going as fast as possible. So that's a shit ton of work to add to the price. And then people also think that it's just like some throwaway item, like it's just an add-on. And I'm like, no, it took me a whole day of labor to just make that. So it's like having these leather sheets just really helps speed up production. And for like people like EDC guys and stuff like that are just putting in their pocket anyway, it's so easy to pocket carry with the the fold over style pocket sheet that you do. Yeah, like it just carries so easily.
Yeah, and because Kydex is so finicky, and you want to go have a custom, and you go to somebody like Tim at Tobacco Road or something, you have him build you something that's like, because he does some of the best work out there. And yeah, you're going to pay for it, but you're also paying. You're getting what you pay for, and then you can customize it, and you can put. I mean, you see some of the patterns and stuff that they have on Kydex now, but that's not something that the average knife maker can go, oh yeah, I'll just knock that out and include that in the price. You could have made like $1,000 in knives by the time you made a couple Kydex sheaths. So let the Kydex guys do their thing, and I don't even like making it for our field knives that we do, which we put a Kydex with it. Just because it's cord wrapped and it's tough with the leather. I don't even like, oh God, I got to do 10 of these today. Damn it. I'm just like, fire up the oven. I got to I'm not that great at it. And so then, so I really have a lot of respect for like those guys that are good at the Kydex. So.
Well, it takes a lot of time and work to do it properly. And the other solution is to have a mold made and do it. But then all your knives need to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about leather is you got a bit of give. Where it's like, exactly. You got some tolerance room here. Like it stretches, which is cool.
I just like leather because it looks good and it ages well, and it tells a story. And, the only thing that I think that could possibly make a leather sheath better would be a patch field.
You want Velcro on it?
Yeah, definitely. Let's put Velcro on it. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually trying to think, how could I do that? Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. All right, well, how about on the pocket sheets? You could do like a wider scout carry strap, and then that could have your little patch on there. But no one's going to see it. That's the problem.
Yeah, then you won't be known as a cool guy.
Because they're on my pouches in my bag, so stealth patches.
But on the wool,
flare.
on the PNW on the PNW wife beater, you could have your little patch.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about the PNW. So
Heather's gonna make it for you. I already know.
I have a feeling. Yeah, this is the problem that you have when you have friends who make stuff, is that they can make you practical joke stuff too.
And then you feel obligated. You're like, damn it, now I can wear this thing.
Nick would wear that with pride.
I would absolutely. I mean, I've been trying to get Heather to make me a patch sash for like freaking 3 years, but she won't do it.
That's just for me. I'm sorry. Some things are all mine, and the patch sash is mine.
I know.
That's funny.
Yeah. So apparently, I made the mistake of it was hot in my house that day, so I had my undershirt on, or commonly known as a wife beater. I don't actually beat my wife, just the shirt. And apparently everyone thought that was a big thing, that we needed to make fun of the Italian guy with the wife beater and the sauce stains.
Stereotypes are there for a reason.
Yeah.
And
they don't just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, sometimes they're actually true.
There were no sauce stains on the shirt. It was a clean shirt.
Okay, so we have to talk about it, because being able to post a video has really thrown all of us off, because now people can see what we look like. So Nick was on film in his wife beater. Nick
is often on film in his wife beater. It's not like it was a one-off occurrence.
No, he's
it's
not
like a normal
today.
thing.
Yeah,
for our listeners, he doesn't have to care.
Guys, my last name is Italiano. It's basically part of the uniform. I mean, come on.
It's part of the uniform.
He's not wearing one today that we can see.
It's probably underneath.
That's not watching.
Underneath there.
I followed up with "we can see."
Did you have to see what you were wearing? You don't know what clothes you're wearing?
Remember? No, I just got black t-shirt.
You can tell Nick works from home. Doesn't even know if he's wearing clothes or not. Nick, are you wearing pants?
No,
I am.
No, don't go there.
I am wearing pants, and I got my Crocs and my socks.
Oh my goodness.
We're good.
Sacrilege.
You know what, John, you haven't mentioned is the new packs. We definitely want to talk to you. You released the new packs.
Those are out in the wild now. And this door keeps slamming. Hold on one second. Talk for a second.
Nick's got one. Nick could talk about it.
One.
I know.
Nick,
Nick, you grab your pack. This door keeps slamming on the side of the shop. I gotta shut it.
I love this pack, guys. This is awesome.
So what's it called?
It's called the Discovery M1, which is awesome. No, I really like it, and I'm gonna let John tell you all about it.
Okay, I grabbed a couple packs while
I was dual wielding them.
But mine's also cold and heavy, so I'm gonna put it down.
Yeah. The M1 Discovery packs are out in the wild now, and got some really great feedback from folks that have, and of course Nick wrote a great article.
That means you're not really good folks. You're just Nick.
Yeah, and good folks, and of course,
that guy in the white beater wrote a really nice article about it.
So this project took a long time. Building a functional backpack, especially with some modular aspects that we wanted to do with it, is not like building anything else, because there's so many variables with the fit, and then at the end of the day, you have to realize no matter what we put together, somebody's going to go, oh, you know what you should have done? And those are called the you should have fucked off people, because if you want to come in here and sit in design and go through this, then go for it, because there's a lot that goes into just building straps. And straps, they're only this big. They're straps, but getting the angle of the straps, getting what padding, we went through, 5-6 prototypes. I've got rolls. In fact, right over there on the floor, I've got rolls of different padding, because it's like, no, this is too thick, this is too thin. You feel like, the porridge and the Three Bears or the, Little Red Riding Hood. And, this padding is too thick. Well, this is too thin, and the stuff folds if this stuff's not going to form over time. And that's a whole nother science behind that. So once we got that dialed in, and it's like, okay, where do we want these to hit on your shoulders, the weight, and then water bottles, how big, what kind. I knew the materials that we wanted to use was pretty much the best that I could get, like the zipper material. We went with the waterproof. So for the folks that haven't seen, you'll notice the black kind of rubberized. This is a water, they call it water resistant. They can't say waterproof, because obviously that, if you dunked it in water, it would soak through. But for all intents purposes, nothing's getting through there. It's ungodly expensive compared to, it's five times more expensive probably than compared to the regular zipper chain that we use. And so, but I was like, we're using that. And then we did the math on it. We're like, it takes a lot more than we thought. So, oh well, we'll go with it. And then binding all this together on the inside and having all the tabs line up where we needed them. As there's tabs in here, there's tabs on out there, there's tabs on the inside that line up with certain other products with our admin pouch. And so getting all of that placement and getting markers, what we call, as we're for each of those when we're doing the pattern design, and then being able to replicate it and going, okay, now we need to make 100 of these, so we got to be able to do this over and over. And there was just a lot of setbacks because it would get frustrating, and it's like, okay, put this aside because we've got other stuff we need to put time and hours into and get on the sewing machine. And then little stuff like with the hardware, I wanted everything to match. I wanted everything to be made in the USA, obviously. And so this, I haven't put one on this, but there's a sternum strap, Nick, that goes across that you can remove and adjust depending on where it hits on your wife beater. And so, well, I wanted all the hardware to be in Coyote. The only parts because I wanted the mesh, spacer mesh on the back in black to match the waterproof zipper, and I wanted all the hardware. Well, we got down to it, and the sternum strap isn't 1 inch. It's what is it? I think it's 5/8. I couldn't find double loop slides in the same Coyote brown made in the USA in that color. I was like, the last piece that I needed, couldn't find them anywhere. Nobody had them, and so I had to go with black ones. And I was just, and like, not like that ruined, but it gets down to those little details, and you just like throw the whole pack away. I can't get a Coyote buckle this big. Fucking, I'm done. And so, but we got to do some cool stuff. We implemented some new fabrics that we've used for other products, like just little embellishments like under scrap. Nick, yours doesn't have this because yours is one of the prototypes, but we use some Hank material, which stands for heavy abrasion resistant neoprene Kevlar. It's really grippy. It's what we use on our rifle slings so that they grip a little bit, and we used it at the top of the straps here. We used it at some abrasion points. We used it down where the shoulder straps link at the bottom. There's a little wedge of it there, and so just making sure everything is reinforced and is going to stand up, to our lifetime warranty. So once it all came together and the first prototype, we were like, oh, this is ugly. And just, everything on paper looks good, and you're doing things on an iPad, and I don't know how to use the design software my designer does all that, but I get to say yay and nay. And then we got everything done, and it was like, man, this at the top, this wasn't coming together the way we wanted it to. And it was just a simple thing of like, well, let's reverse and bind it the other direction. And, simple things that my brain doesn't see because I work, more on the leather side, and other people that work with this stuff all the time go, well, that's an easy fix. And so we got down to the fourth prototype, and finally I was okay, good enough. Let's roll with it. And so yeah, it did great. We cut back our production a little bit. I was real hesitant because I was like, this is the first time we've done anything like this. And I don't know how, our customer base is going to receive, and we sold out of it, except for we did end up I got 2, I think there's 3 left. So I was pretty excited about that. I won't do another run probably until first of summer. I think we'll do another cut. But so this one, and I also left it open to have some changes. Like this is the M1 modular is what the M stands for, because it does have that modular aspect of adding some other stuff. So we may do like an M2 that is a bushcraft version, and we may make it all out of wax canvas, and we could and maybe practical M version, and make it all black, and maybe even put some Molly stuff, even though with the center zip on the front, it doesn't quite line up for Molly webbing. But so we tried to leave it open so that we've got some room to grow it in the future. So, and come up with some other renditions. But, so yeah, it was a long process, but I think we nailed it. I haven't had any complaints about it. And it is what it is. It's not a mountaineering pack. It's more than just a run into town, throw some stuff in a pack. Could you do, an ultra lightweight 3-day type of bushcraft type thing? Absolutely. Is it great to use from base camp at deer camp, or if you're hunting in the backcountry? Absolutely. Um, and but again, there's always the people that come along. Well, you know what you should have done? You should have put this over here, and it's like, okay, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Coming down the R&D process.
Yeah, I just love that John just shared like all the different small tiny things that make other people that aren't makers don't think about. Like, this needs to go here, this is the fabric, I want this to match. Like the decision making on even something simple, there are so many decisions to be made.
Yeah,
but people think like that we haven't thought about all these things.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like,
that's why I started the Make It Monday. I was like, there are a lot of decisions, I'll let you guys in on a few. Right?
There's a thing that like, or at least with my last job, where people would see like my name, it said T Nugent, and it's like there's always a thing that like they would just say, oh, like Ted, and I'm like, if it comes up to your head that quickly, you should think about not saying it because of how many other people have probably had the same thought. If it comes to you that fast, trust me, we've heard it. It's the same thing with some of these ideas or anything else, and people mistake, I say it all the time, their preferences for facts, where I'm like, no, that's a preference or an opinion. That's not a hard, true fact of that's the best thing. It's like, no, you like that the best. There's a big difference.
One of the features on this that was the waist belt, and we left it so that we can add a waist belt. It's got a ring down here on both sides because we're going to do that as kind of an add-on later, but that is a whole nother area that I'm kind of avoiding right now because I know I'm going to get people that are like, oh, that should be a 4-inch padded waist belt.
It's not a mountaineering pack.
Yeah, you're putting 20 pounds in this. If you need that, I mean, I want it to be more of a waist belt just to add other pouches and gear to, not something that's going to be a load bearing, like my Osprey, 7,200 pack or anything like that. So that's going to be one of those things where here come all the, and we not, again, people can listen and go, oh, what an arrogant prick. I want,
well, yes, but
I want, criticism, and I love hearing people's input. We take customers' input all the time and implement it into stuff. But sometimes it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like we've been through this. We know, and because sure, we could make it a certain way, but then now it serves a different purpose. So I'm fairly confident that we built this pack to serve the purpose that we had in mind from the beginning. And again, we didn't revolutionize the pack industry. It's like a knife. I mean, how many different ways can you make a knife, right? How many different how many different shapes are there to a backpack?
You can only make a wicket.
Somebody would go, oh, well, they copied this guy or they copied that guy. I mean, so we just kind of roll with it and do our thing and go, smile and nod. Okay, thank you for your input.
Well, you left it modular, which is nice. Like that's why I like the sheaths that we do with you, where it's like it's not a fixed clip because you could change it to whatever the fuck you want, and it's great because
your heart's content.
Whatever you want. I had an email come in recently, and it's like you should try using Ulti clips. I think they're superior. I'm like, Ulti clips, and it's nothing against them. I cut my knuckle on it like 3 or 4 times, and then I said I'm done with Ulti clips because I keep cutting my finger on.
But
these
if they
things.
want an Ulti clip, they can go buy one.
And they put an Ulti clip on. I'm like, I'm glad you got an Ulti clip, but that's why we have eyelets there, so you can mod it to whatever you want.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you did the same thing with the pack, though.
We don't sell the clips on the retail end with the sheet. Well, I don't sell them on the wholesale end either, because there's a lot of different varieties of clips out there, and people ask all the time, well, why can't I get a clip from you? I'm like, well, because I don't know what kind you like, and I'm not going to be fully invested in one brand of clips to have people go, oh, I don't like those, and then not make their purchase. Go out and get it yourself, So,
also, if it's replaceable, like if you ship it with a clip and they don't like it, that clip's coming off and it's going in the trash somewhere or in a drawer and never to be seen again. So it's like you just spent money on something.
14 weeks, I think. So
yeah, they're not cheap.
No,
they're a very expensive part of the package. But like for me, I hate it when people sell like an everyday carry knife that they can't carry every day out the box.
Yeah, on your end, you have to.
Is it really? And it's like if people complain about mine, it's like I'm literally using the top tier clip you could buy. I'm spending way more money on this thing than I should be. So it's like if you like something different, that's fine. But this is like one of the top echelon ones that I'm putting on the sheet as like a gimme. So
Yeah, I think
I don't really get that many complaints about it.
I think I'm going to bring with what we're bringing to Blade Show Texas. I think I'm going to get clips, just because people at the show they're going to want. I might make them extra unless they can buy them on the side or whatever. But I think I'm going to order a batch to have for people that are at the show. That way, when they go buy their knife over here, they can come over. They can at least carry it out of the show. Type of a deal.
A lot of guys don't sell them with sheets, so it'd be nice to have you there with a table. You have a table or a booth?
No, I got a table. Yeah, we just did a table. Was all.
Well, it'd be nice to be like, yeah, go buy your knife, and if it doesn't come with a sheath, come see which one fits it, like on the spot.
And that's pretty much mainly what we're bringing is just leather. We'll bring some EDC stuff. We'll bring the pouch with the Velcro. God, I'm still bitter about that. And we'll bring wallets, but we're not doing like the big spread. I mean, we only have an 8-foot table, so we can't do the our normal.
And it's skinny table too. 2 feet.
I know.
Yeah, they get
right?
cheap
Like
with
it
them.
really throws me off. I'm like, dang it, this is so tiny.
It throws your tablecloths off
If you do
too.
a
They're
mock
not
setup
sized the
at
same.
home on a regular table, you're like,
Oh
wait
yeah,
a minute.
yeah. I tape it out actually to try to see what I can fit because we also take it all in our luggage. But yeah, no, it's like 8 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah, I don't know what I got to figure out some stuff for the table as far as display goes, because all the stuff we have here that we use at the regular shows under the big tent is way too big. So I got to figure out a way to display each of the sizes for pocket sheaths. And anyway, I'll work on that the week before we leave, probably.
You could just plop it down in a black tablecloth like I do and say, here it is.
Layers. It's all about the layers. We talked about this, Tom.
And the trouble is she's got, she's got merchandising skills.
Oh my gosh, John's display was great. I mean, I saw John when we were at Georgia Bushcraft, and
your setup at Georgia Bushcraft 2 years ago was very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, I can't. I do love doing those big shows like that. I wish Georgia was closer. It's such a haul for us, and it's just like this is by the time we pack and drive, do the show, drive back, unpack. I'm like, it's a 10-day ordeal. Like it seems like I don't know. I know it's less than that, but it seems like it's at least 9 days worth of work. Just preparing, doing, coming back. I'm like,
for 2 days of show.
Yeah, it's a lot of shot time that I'm not missing out on. So
we always talk about it. It is that balance of being able to see the people that you want to see and network, but also being away from home is so hard. Yeah, we were talking about doing an Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Arizona, but I would have to add 2 days on of nonstop driving in the beginning and the end, besides the show and the summit beforehand. I was like, man, that's like 10 days away. Like it's not something we can do. It's not going to play out.
It's pretty expensive there too. You got to their cost as far as to set up a booth and everything. I looked at it one time. I thought it was pretty spendy. But we might do Utah Blade Show again, the Blade Show West again. We might do that one this year. I'm going to see how Texas goes, because we haven't done Blade Show since the last time I did Blade Show. Oh God, that had been 2017. We did like 3 years in a row, and in Atlanta, and so it's been a long time. So
the Utah show was good.
What's that?
Yeah, we enjoyed the Utah show. We've been there.
You guys have gone 3 times.
Yeah.
No, since it started, right?
We've been with Blade Show West for 6 years, so it was its third year in Utah. And it was our best show ever. Yeah. So it was nice, but we do fly in. It's a weekend. We go in on Thursday and come home on Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's so much. Every time I go somewhere, I'm like, oh, it's a marathon, and then it's like, and then you're home.
Yeah, well, and also I make all the products and bring them and set up. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, but we get to see people, which is what we're there for. We want to see our customers. We're an online company, so I love being able to see the other makers and our customers. So it's totally worth it for us. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
We enjoy it. Yeah, and that show's nice because it's so short. Flying on Thursday, come home on Sunday. Like I can do that, but yeah. And we're Blade Show. We're doing Blade Show Atlanta this year too, and that's a much longer.
It's gonna be a party.
Yeah, it's like flying Wednesday night. Come home on Monday. Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to Texas because John stupidly invited me to his place beforehand. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking that day. Not yet. We'll get there.
Okay. Get them done.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Put it on your calendar. How about that? Maybe you'll remember.
Oh, yeah. I'll mark it down. Then it definitely won't get done.
Right on your calendar.
But I was talking to JD before. He's like, oh, what do you plan on doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to do some Texas shit. And he's like, do you want to shoot hogs at nights with suppressors and thermals? And I'm like, that sounds like Texas stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'd definitely be game for something like that.
Well, yeah, if you guys can come in a couple days early, however early you want to come in, just make it happen.
Don't be careful with what you say, John.
Tom's moving in tomorrow.
It's been recorded.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. It's been an hour, though. I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah. All right. Well,
we could talk to John for hours more, but
we could, and we will again. But I just want to touch on the pack before we sign off. So, guys, I really like the pack that John makes. I have a pack problem, as you all know. I got like 40 of them in my freaking shed. I really like this one. Like I said, it's not a mountaineering pack, but it's a very good kind of day pack, outdoor pack. I keep my winter kind of like, I call it my winter go bag, so it's like my winter survival / hiking / any kind of outdoor activity bag. It goes in the trunk, it goes everywhere with me. It's freaking awesome. And the day that I decided to test this guy out was the day that we had a freaking blizzard. So everything inside was dry. The zippers work. But seriously, if you guys haven't checked it out, check out the pack. I know he's not making any more for a while. That's your loss. Sorry, guys.
John, will you be doing a waiting list? Or
yeah. So what we do, I don't mind at this point doing pre-orders on stuff because we control our manufacturing. So
yeah,
like for instance, the EDC pouch, I know that we're cutting patterns right now. So I don't have to. It's not like oh shit, we did a pre-order and I can't get a hold of whoever on whatever country and we don't know where they're at type of a deal. So we, like this last time, we started the pre-order in November, and then we started production December, and we delivered in January. So I'll probably do the same type of thing. But like I said, I've got 2 or 3 left right now that are on the website. But yeah, so we might start another pre-order. Yeah, maybe April for May production, delivery June, something like that. Just because it is a little longer process, and when we do them, we got to make it. We're there cutting fabric, so we're not going to do 10. We're going to do 50, or we're going to do 100 or whatever. I mean, we're not going to sit there and Nick, try to do 1s and 2s at a time. That's not very efficient. So
yeah. All right. Well, I just wanted to give my endorsement on the pack.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the article that you wrote up on it too. So that was really nice.
It's I love writing stuff about great gear because it makes it really easy. And everyone on here makes great gear, so it's been a pleasure to write things about all of your stuffs. But anyway, before I ramble on further, Heather, take us home.
All right, thank you so much for joining our podcast. We hope you go check out John, and the website is John?
BadgerClawOutfitters.com.
Yeah, go check out he's got tons of stuff, you guys. He stands behind all his gear. He's very supportive of everyone in the community, is great at reaching out and helping people if they need it. So we really want you guys to go check him out and support him. Thanks for listening to us. We have a Patreon. I don't know where you find it. I don't know if people subscribe to it, but please check it out and tune in again next week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Go away.
Go away. Oh, also, Heather, you left out he tolerates Tom's shit.
He tolerates Tom's shit because Tom also pays on time.
Tom pays early.